Shy?
Not not bad. Pretty good. Yeah, actually. I have a surprising amount of energy.
Okay.
So we're gonna see if I can burn that on something so I can get back to a very comfortable lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It it worried me because there's been a lot of talk lately of you know, a bipolarness in the air, manic episodes and whatnot. And so I was worried that I like suddenly posted things on Instagram and tweeted a few things on Twitter that I'd not been doing that a lot lately. And
Yeah.
so I did, but so I was like, "Oh no, I wonder if there's someone out there who's going to be watching that and thinking, is she having a manic episode?" And no, it's just I scheduled shows, and as it turns out, my shows are all in, like, 7, 8, 9 days all in a row.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Well, I guess it's time for me to make a flyer and tell people that I have shows." And that is not an energy that, I've had lately, not a thing I've had to do in a while. Um, but I imagine in this kind of climate, it looks like, "Uh-oh." And I can only assume that because I look at people who are, sometimes on the quieter side and a sudden burst of energy, and they're saying wild things all of a sudden, and I'm like, "Oh boy," because they have said, like, "Oh, yeah, this is what a manic episode from me looks like," and I read that, from them, say, years ago, and I just filed that away, and so now I'm just like, "Uh-oh," but I have not said, anything like that, but you don't have to say it for people to think it, right? That's what social media is for. So I just wonder if people are like, "Is she okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I just had a thing that I was worried about, and that thing's over, and now I have these things that I'm doing. I'm just trying to let you know it's not all manic. I'm still tired." Um, but, yeah, and it also has me, like, thinking about my relationship with social media in general, which I think we are all doing
Yeah.
now that your boy, old Musky Musk, has literally bought Twitter, and I don't even know what the stories are this week. I don't know if that's one of the stories.
Nah, nah. I kinda wanted that to, like, uh, affect the overall tone in general. You know? It was an artistic decision, like, it was just
Okay.
background.
Alright.
Like, how, like, when you do, like, a high school sports story, but you shoot it in, like, Virginia, so, like, you just know there's gonna be, like, racial undertones. It's
Oh,
like that.
okay. No, when you do a high school story and the high school's in Virginia, and you don't there are no racial undertones. It's just that's just the tone. No one's hiding anything in the South. It's just like, "Well, the white school did this, but the black school, man, they whooped our ass." You know what I mean? Like, it's just that's just how it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's trying to hide it or be no one's finessing anything when it comes to race.
You just keep seeing the guy training before the movie starts, and I'm like, "Yo, how many Robert E. Lee statues is out here that this dude keep running
Right.
by?"
Yeah, yeah,
They trying to
sure.
tell me something without telling me something, So, yeah, I
Mhm.
figured that would be kinda like the
The
Elon
to
energy of the episode.
Okay, alright.
We know, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm. So how like, it's been I mean, I'm still on Twitter, I'm still watching people, kind of freak out. I'm watching Elon himself kind of freak out and sell Twitter to the lowest bidder. I don't know if you saw that, one of the first things that he proposed,
Yeah,
uh, was, paying money paying a monthly fee to keep your verified blue check.
right.
Um For anyone out there who doesn't know what that is, that means that you have at some point you're important enough, you've deemed yourself or society has deemed you important enough to be listed as verified, as in this is the actual person or company or whatever that you think it is, and these are their thoughts and opinions, however they want to put it to you, but this is them. And you have to like send them, I don't know, you gotta, like, send them a phone number and, like, a picture of yourself holding the day's newspaper, and then they're like,
Oh,
"Alright,
that's
you're who
you.
you say you are," and then they give you a blue check, but you also have to have done something somewhat important. So, there will be people or somewhat popular or something that had some sort of pop to it. So, there are some folks who are out there with blue checks who are, they may have, like, 8,000 followers,
Yeah,
which is a lot in some circles, but then when you look at people who have, like, uh, 50K, you're like, "Oh, this is nothing." I don't even get the K after however
right,
many
right.
followers, it's literally 800, 223. Like, they give you the full number, but you still got your check. So, because of how, uh because of society, I guess, because of online society and the way that the groups break down, the way cliques form and whatnot, there are people who think that anyone with a verified uh, check think
Mhm.
that they are better than everyone else. And so they call them blue checks. Like, it's a really weird thing where it's like, "Oh, you blue checks up in your ivory tower," which I don't even know if anyone using blue checks still says ivory tower, but you get what I mean, that you are that you make a whole bunch of money, that your life is, ideal, that everything's great for you because you have a blue verified check, and I literally know people who have blue verified checks who work a government job. Like, it's not, you
Oh,
know Yeah, so it's a lot of so Elon's like, "Hey, you got a blue check. How about you just pay us to maintain that thing? Like 20 bucks a month to keep your blue check."
that's madness.
That's madness. So, Stephen King, famed author Stephen King,
Yeah.
who's pretty active on Twitter, actually, was
Uh-huh.
like, nah, kid, I'm not paying $20 to come up with I supply content to the site for free.
Yeah.
Now you want me to pay $20 for it?" Um, and he said, and I'll never forget this, that Stephen King wrote, "I'm gone like Enron." And I'm like, "Who the fuck?" We'll get to that in a second. But he said basically, "Nah, I'm out. I'm not doing that." And, and then Elon responded to him and was like, "Hey, man, come on. We're trying to keep the business, solvent or whatever. We gotta pay advertisers. How about $8?" That's sir, this is not a marketplace. Like, we're not out on the street haggling for blue checks.
Well, what can you pay, you know?
Yeah, like, this is not some sort of weird, like, used car lots, you know what I mean? Like, tidal ponds and whatnot. This isn't what that is. This is Stephen King
Yeah.
saying, "I'm not gonna use this anymore," and this should be you taking that L instead of trying to find what price point works for Stephen King. You think Stephen King don't have 20 bucks? Like, a month? You think he can't just shake out a sock and come up with $20?
Yeah, that seems more like a principle thing.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of stuff like that, and I'm enjoying watching people kinda, just, like, go through that and wonder what that means. Because Elon also responded to, news about Nancy Pelosi's, uh, husband being attacked in a home
Mhm.
invasion, with some sort of wild story of, I don't even know what wild story it was, but it was something that was so clearly not the truth because Like, they've already reported, like, "No, we caught the guy. He said he was coming in to find Nancy Pelosi and break her kneecaps." And he came in saying, "Where's Nancy?" And he bashed the dude's skull in with a hammer, like they were fighting over, and he hit the and Elon's like, "Maybe don't believe everything you read," to Hillary Clinton, who was just like, "This is a terrible thing that happened." And Elon's gonna slide in with a, "Don't believe everything you read." And I'm like, "Yo, this guy is trash."
Wow.
Yeah. Did you see that? Had you seen that
No, that I
happen?
did not
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's haggling with Stephen King, and I'm like, "Dude, do you have money? Do you even know how to act?" I'm not saying that these people are better or worse or anything like that, but do you have any couth, sir?
Yo,
Yeah.
I when this happened, the first person I thought of actually was Wyatt Cenac.
Hmm.
Um, really dope comic. I respect his work a lot, and
Mhm.
I have no idea how he's doing economically, and I genuinely wish I knew him well enough to ask.
Was that you?
Because like, and I don't need to know like, yo, like to the dollar. I just want to know like, yo, general, like, how's your life? Like, where's your apartment? I want to get like an idea if this works because he's the only comic who is productive, active currently that I know of, like not necessarily in the same way, like he's not doing stand up as
Mhm.
often as like he was before, but I know that once a year something comes out that he's working on,
Mhm.
right? And he's also not on any socials.
Mhm.
The only way to keep up with Wyatt is his email list or
Mhm.
to follow Don Will on Twitter or something like that. Like,
He has a Twitter account.
yeah,
He has one, and I'm trying to remember if he just tweeted under the TV show that he had, um,
right. Like stuff like
Wyatt
that. The shows
Cenac's
have it.
problem area, like, it had its own, but then he also had his own, and the last time I feel like I saw him tweet anything was when Jon Stewart started his show called The Problem with Jon Stewart, and
Okay.
Wyatt Cenac just posted a picture of his show, which was called Wyatt Cenac's Problem Areas, with just "Huh, weird. That's weird, isn't it? Huh." But yeah, he's not active. I mean, and I don't know if he's on IG anymore, but I know he was. He had social media and he used it sparingly. He used to do a thing on IG, like, in the first days of the soft shutdown, which is what I call it, because lockdown is not right. I saw too many people having fun for it to be a true lockdown in the early days. Um, where he would play, like, a jazz record all the way through on IG Live and just sit in his office and, like, play some weird jazz album all the way through and then just go away. So, but that was, like, it. Like, he's not I don't know if he's, like, on it heavy.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what I mean? And outside of that, it's just very rare. But then again, like, last week, he hosted a thing with Don Will. He hosted their movie show
I love
that they
that
do
shit.
live, and, like,
Yeah.
so he is doing well. I mean, he's doing fine, I guess?
Yeah,
I don't know him well enough to be like, "Hey, man, how your pockets looking?" Or, "Are you
yeah, like
okay?" Or, "Do
it's
you need help?" Or anything. I don't know what that level of friendship is.
right, because it comes off as rude. I'm not asking to be invasive. I'm asking like for my own like reassurances. Like I want to know it's possible. Like he's the only blueprint I know of that. That like you're making work that I would be proud to say I made as well. And
Mhm.
also you're not doing you're spreading the word through some I don't know what you're doing. You're sending birds out. I don't know how you do it. I want to know. Like that's all it is. Cause I would love to not be as dependent on the social media model now that dudes like Elon could just decide tomorrow, are we buying this?
Right.
Because right
Well
now, Elon owns one, Mark
Mhm.
owns two of them,
Right.
and the third one, the country has tried to shut down when one of those type dudes is in charge.
Right. Wait, which one is that? TikTok?
The TikTok, right? Like when Trump was in charge, he wanted to shut it down because it
Well,
was
that's
like
because
China.
China owns it, so that's its own thing where now, because of that, you're out here having to self-censor and write things in, like, hieroglyphics instead of saying the word sex or
Yeah,
bleeping out, writing it in a different way or just making a donkey noise for or some shit, you know what I mean? So now that's the whole world trying to get their little sex jokes off in on a on a thing owned by a country that is not really trying to let you do that. So I'm like, "Why?"
you know?
And that's part of the reason also why I don't really put any of my clips, which makes me wonder if I just talk about sex too much. I don't think that's it. I certainly don't talk
No,
about
I didn't
sex
get
too
that
much.
vibe.
But when I try to post a joke, they're always like, "Oh, the community, you're breaking our community guidelines. You can't." And I'm like, what are you talking about?" So I'm like, "Okay, fine. All right. Then I just won't post anything on here because I don't have time to fucking figure out. I'm not spelling out things phonetically to keep from writing the word because y'all are scared to tell your people what things are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have it in me. Y'all don't have that. Y'all are for the children. I mean, it's not for me. Maybe this is just not my thing. I'll just go back to Tumblr, which Tumblr is like, "Hey, we still here and we're letting you post naked pictures again." And now
Welcome
people are
back,
like,
baby.
"Tumblr. I don't re Hey, you look good. How you doing? Is that a new shirt?" Like, they're really I'm return which is great for me because that's where my website is through. My website's been through Tumblr the whole time, so I
Yo, that's
still
just yo,
believe.
you should get a sponsorship, yo. Real talk. You held down Tumblr.
I
Everybody else
did.
left. You I was like, nah, B, I'm here.
Nah, I'm still here. I'm still here. I don't know how to switch it, so I'm still here.
That's just dope. I
Oh my
went to look up
gosh.
your socials. I was like, yo, Sha really still out here. Tumblr all day. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I am still out on the things, so I don't know. But it's just I it's just been interesting to see people interact with it and try to
Yeah,
figure out what they're going to do and where they're going to pivot and all of these things. I mean, I like Twitter and how it helps me write jokes.
right.
Which I, mentioned to, my comedy students last week. I asked if any of them wrote using Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, no, I don't touch the stuff, I don't wanna." And I'm like, "Oh, I use it all the time to help me write jokes." And they're like, "How?" And I'm like, "I gotta get it. If I can't get that joke and all those characters, then it's too long of a joke." Then
Yeah,
I
it's real.
yeah, I gotta if I can set up what I'm trying to say and then say the funny part, and I can do it in the 140 or 280 now
Yeah,
characters, then great. That helps me with, editing, and I could
yeah.
see students going, "Oh, I didn't think of that." And I'm like, "Yeah, and I bet when I hear your jokes, they're gonna be too wordy." I bet. I bet when I hear your jokes, they're gonna be too long.
Uh-huh.
And
You
I'm gonna
saw
say,
that
"Put."
7-minute setup you just did?
Yeah,
You need
put that
Twitter.
put that shit in the Twitter box, see how long it takes you to get down to 280 characters.
Yeah, I've definitely given it thought. I'm not as concerned that it's gonna be like a mass exodus of Twitter, but um I I do think that it's gonna be changes that'll lead to it being less popular. And admittedly, like I Twitter is the only social I think I fully do for enjoyment.
Mm,
It's the one I grow the least on, it's the one I get the least traction on.
mhm.
But I enjoy tweets. Like I just find it fun. Um,
Yeah.
it's also the social media that I do when I'm feeling least productive and want to do something. Like it starts the wheel. Like
Mm, mhm.
if I'm not writing, if I'm not creating, if I'm not going out to shows and I find myself in a rut, I could open up Twitter and like the barrier to entry is the easiest. I just need words and I don't even need to say them out loud. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's the thing I'm good at, whereas like every other one is like a production at this point. Like I gotta get lighting, I gotta get camera
Okay,
crew.
yeah, anything that I can just think a thing and type it in and then let it go as
Yeah.
opposed to, like, looking for the corner of my basement apartment that has the best lighting. I'm like, "It's
Yo.
great."
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that has
Yeah,
a
it's
value. So, like, there's a part of it that, like, even if, like, I don't have a huge following on it, and if I ever do, know that I got famous first and then they followed me, not because I did something dope on Twitter that day.
right.
My spiel has been the same spiel the whole time, is, half me saying weird things about food in
Mhm.
Brooklyn, and,
Mhm.
like, every now and then, like, an emotional breakdown at 4 in the morning, and then I recover. That's all I do on Twitter. That's it.
That's all any of us are doing. Either they're doing that or they're lurking. That's I'm a little more lurker. I have lurker moments, and then I have kind of productive moments where I have thoughts, and I just go ahead and kinda put them out there. But I just want folks to know this is not a manic part of my life. I don't think I have that issue.
Yeah,
It is literally just I have shows to promote, and, I'm just trying to get an eye or 2 to people so that I'm like, "Hey, look, I'm still doing a thing here,
word
and
up.
this is how I know how to let people know," and I'm still trying to figure it out on IG. Like, I posted, pictures of my, LA trip on IG, and then posted the flyer, and the pictures got, 3 times as many more eyes on it than the flyer did, because the flyer
Mm,
has words, and IG suppresses those, and I know that, and I just was like, "I'm just gonna put this here, I'm gonna see how these numbers are looking now." Like,
yeah.
how bad is it truly? Um, and honestly, here's how bad it was. When I picked out the pictures to post on, like, my photo dump, as the kids call it,
Yeah.
before I could even move to the next thing, IG was like, these would make a great reel. Have you tried just putting them all together and then you could put music behind it?" And I was like, "If you don't get the fuck out of here."
If I wanted to do that, I'd have told you.
I would have clicked reel. Look at when I started using this damn site. You think I don't know what a reel is?
I sent you the idea,
Yeah,
okay?
right. I'm not a video editor. Here are some pictures. I took some pictures. Look at the pictures. Take all the time you want. Slide over when you're ready to slide to look at the next picture, but don't if you wanna pinch and make it bigger, great, do that, but do that on your own time, at your own leisure. I trust you as someone who's following and a viewer. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna force you to, have to see these pictures moving through like a slideshow. I'm not
yeah.
making
I'm
that.
not
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna set up these pictures to change to the, like, tempo or the hi-hats, okay?
right, yeah,
That's
and
not what I do.
also, whatever song I wanna put it to, y'all ain't got it anyway. How about that? How about that? Y'all not gonna make me put something to a goddamn Taylor Swift song just 'cause that's what's popping.
Not at
Not
all.
the kid. I just muted the words Taylor and Swift on Twitter. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Y'all let that woman rest. I know she's just coming for our heads right now. I don't care. Sorry. I don't care. I don't wish her ill will, but I do wish she'd not be on my timeline as much.
What more does she have to do?
Like, y'all love we get it. I get it. Y'all love her, and that's wonderful. And so you know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mute her so I don't have to hear you discussing her.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tougher if I see people in person and they just talk as if you also are obsessed with Taylor Swift. I'm not. And so
Real talk, I don't know a single person that, like, rocks with her music, like, in person, like, in my life.
you probably well, yeah,
Or,
you may
like, and
not,
not anybody
or
that
you
would tell
may
me.
not anybody who would tell you because you don't necessarily put off the air of someone who's really checking for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you if she's not literally doing, like, s something if she's not wearing, like, Tim's and, fatigues or whatever, there's no need for you to look for her, like, why would you? I can
Yeah.
see where people are like, "No, that's not anything Gastor has ever shown himself to be interested in." So
Yeah,
I
n
could see why no one would even bring that up to you, but I think I have something of a reputation of liking all kinds of music.
yeah, you do.
And so and that means people are like, "Well, then you must like," and I just don't she hasn't really made anything that has made me want to listen to it over and over.
And
Not a thing, not one song. I've heard songs, I can recall maybe a title or whatever, but I really there's nothing that I'm like, "Now that one is" look, when I see Miley Cyrus, I
yeah,
want to punch her in the face. She don't have to say nothing. She could just be standing there. I wanna punch her in the face. She brings that out in me.
yeah,
I think she seems bratty, and I
yeah.
don't like brattiness. I don't like smugness, I don't like brattiness. So, I already off rip, I do not like Miley Cyrus. That said, Party in the USA is my jam.
Yeah,
See,
I was
so
gonna say she
everyone
got
can
some
do it.
bangers.
Yeah, everyone can do it. I don't think she can sing, but Party in the USA is my jam. It could be any robot. It could be anyone singing that song, but I like that song. It happens to be her. I like that song.
Yeah, she got some bangers.
There's no Taylor Swift song where I'm like, "Okay, but that one is the one."
Yeah.
There's not one to me. She just doesn't grab me like that, and no one man, people get mad when you say that you don't love someone that's supposed to be beloved. I don't like Drake either. Never have.
See,
Never have.
the one thing I will say is, like, I don't like Drake, like, the person, but I do like his songs. Like like, the dude, like, did I know, like, right now, I'm hoping to be successful, I'm doing the work, I promise you,
Mhm.
and if it happens, great, and I tell you, I'm fully admitting it to the thousands of people we have listening versus the theoretical millions one day. You
Right.
guys are the only ones that will know. If you see me with Drake, I'm gonna be pretending we boys. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna fake the funk because that dude's he's too powerful. Okay, I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
lie like, oh nah, B, I'm gonna tell him your shit trash or something. No, his music slaps, but I don't like the dude. Like he Herbie to me, you know.
Oh, shit. Yo, that's
Like
wow.
he don't come off to me like he's been
Right.
trying so hard to
So
be
hard.
cool his whole life.
Right.
And I see it. It oozes out of him like over
Yeah.
and over again. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like I came to school one day with these dope like sneakers, and he like spent the whole day looking at them, and then
Mhm.
came in the next day with my sneakers.
Ooh, I've actually had that done to me. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Like he gives me that vibe. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything he has that is dope, he took it from somebody. So
Yes.
like I don't jive with. But all the shit he takes leads to a hot song because he took it from someone else that was hot. So I can't knock the songs.
I
Whereas
try
Taylor Swift, every time I hear her, I feel like, oh, that would have been a really good song if someone else took it from her. Like I
well,
want someone to sing her songs
I
instead of her.
mean, she may have taken it from somewhere else. Who knows? I don't know if she's if how much of that there have been reports, at least in videos. There have been a couple of times in videos where the ideas of videos and her music videos have been definitely like yoinked from another place, including one of her most recent videos was yoinked from a singer-songwriter named, Manuela, who put out, like, an EP, and I think she has, like, a collection of videos for some of the songs on the EP
Yeah.
that have, like, a theme, and Taylor Swift's one of her new videos has kind of the same theme, just in the one song or the video for the one song, and I found that out on Instagram, and then I looked up that person and listened to her music rather than Taylor Swift. That's what I'll do. If you are taking from someone, I'm like, "Well, let me hear what the thing was.
Yeah.
Just what moved you? Let me see." And then I end up just listening to that
That's it.
or, checking that out. So yeah, like I just but people get very upset when you don't like a thing that is just supposed to be understood that everyone loves.
Nah.
I've definitely gotten into arguments with people over Drake where I'm just like, he just doesn't really do it for me. And he's been on songs. Usually, if I like something that Drake has done, it's like 32 bars on somebody else's song. It's not necessarily his thing, but I mean, and yo, people were mad. Like, what do you mean you don't like Drake? I mean, have you heard? I'm like, no, I don't want to hear. What I've heard, I don't necessarily care for, so why would I dig to find the one song that will get me? If the simple stuff isn't enough to get me in the door, like, why if I'm passing by something that's doing something terrible in the front, I'm not gonna walk in and go, "Well, let me see, there must be something good in the back." No, why would I?
I also love the idea that the problem was that you hadn't heard enough Drake.
Yeah, why?
What world are you living in where you think I've escaped all the good Drake? That's
Yeah,
why I haven't like figured it out yet.
I
Drake
mean,
is
if he
everywhere. Whatever he's proud
yeah.
of, I've heard.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, then why would he only release his bad stuff as singles? How does that work that he's releasing trash as singles, but the good stuff's on the out? No, no.
Oh man, I'm a believer in B sides, but let's not get crazy here, okay?
Yeah, right, exactly. I like a deep cut, I like an album cut, I like a rare groove, but if the main groove wasn't even enough to get me in, then I'm never gonna hear your rare groove, I'm sorry. Maybe put your magic on the single and see how that goes.
I was the old the source used to say that shit with unsigned hype
Oh,
when people
yeah?
used to submit their tapes. The first rule
Uh-huh.
was put your best cut first. Straight up. They were like, "Yo,
Oh,
we'll skip the
sure, on
rest of your
mixtapes,
demo."
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't put that makes sense, definitely, if you're trying to grab attention,
Yeah, you
you
want to be
definitely
unsigned
want
hype,
that.
put your best cut first. That was the first rule. They're like, we ain't listening to 30 minutes at all of y'all. Like, I don't care how dope you think you are. I'm not waiting for the build up to your best track. Nah,
Oh my
B.
gosh.
Well, now that Twitter is over, let's get into the news.
Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
See, yo, shot. We spent the first we spent the first 30 minutes of this podcast talking about the internet,
Mhm,
social medias,
mhm,
Elon Musk taking over,
mhm, mhm.
and then I lose all power. You know, when I tell you my internet, like I did an internet speed test. When I run it on Google, it normally tells me fast or slow. It told
Mhm.
me fine. Like it was giving me attitude for talking smack about the great social media gods. Okay.
It's like you went to the DMV for, internet speeds. It was like, "Fine, what's your number? Take a number, sit down. We'll get to you if we get to you before lunchtime. No
It works.
promises."
We just wanted to remind you who was in charge. Okay.
Right, right.
All
You
right.
can't do your cute little project here without us, so, keep that in mind.
Shut up and send me those $20 a month, like I told you for Twitter.
Right, yeah.
Okay. The nerve of you.
Oh, boy.
My bad, Elon. Okay. I didn't know it was that serious. Okay. I'll start a GoFundMe for you right now, my G. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like you're gonna need it, clearly. $8 at a time, it looks like
Yo.
you're gonna need it.
Let's try to get into the news again. Okay.
Okay.
As I was saying, Barilla, the two Californians bought Barilla pasta thinking it was made in Italy, and now they are suing. There are two people behind a class action lawsuit, Matthew Sinatro and Jessica Prost, against the pasta making company Barilla, which they say is deliberately deceiving shoppers by using the slogan "Italy's number one brand of pasta" on its packaging. Despite the green, white, and red italicized or stylized. Why am I saying more different words? Stylized Italian flags displayed on the blue boxes of angel hair, fusilli, and bow tie pastas. A complaint filed in Northern California notes that the majority of the company's pasta products are sold in the U.S. but produced in New York and Iowa, and
Mhm.
are not. And on top of that, the ingredients are not sourced from Italy. Sinatro and Prost argue in their complaint that they were duped by the company's alleged false advertising and deceptive marketing practices, and that they would not have spent the combined total of $6 on Barilla products had they known the pastas they were taking home were made in the U.S. Instead, they would have opted for cheaper alternatives.
Let me tell
Uh,
you well, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, when I first saw the headline, I thought these were 2 Americans who bought the company, thinking that they were going to get a trip to Italy to run their new pasta company. Clearly, I've been watching rom-coms lately. So it wasn't until they started, I was like, "Oh, no, 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 these 2 just bought boxes off of the shelves, and they didn't realize." that they weren't Italian, uh, made pastas, which now that we have a dollar amount, a combined total of $6, and they say they would have opted for cheaper alternatives.
Oh,
Baby,
yeah.
do you not go food shopping? Barilla is your cheaper alternative. It's cheaper than Ronzoni, which is what I use Ronzoni. I'm like, I'll pay that extra 35 cents for Ronzoni because they have something written on it in Italian. I never thought that this was coming to me from Italy. Do you know how much dried pasta from Italy is gonna cost? If you pay $6 for pasta and you're like, "This came straight from the motherland," you're an idiot. What are you talking about?
Yeah, unless you like you buy a market pantry, like it ain't getting cheaper than that, my G. Like you
Yeah.
need the store brand of Target, of wherever store you in. That's the only way it gets less than what they're selling you from Bahia. So you
I
should have
mean,
known.
if it's not in a section if it's not on an aisle labeled international foods,
Yeah.
then it's not going it's the more the least expensive alternative. It's if it's just and it just says pasta, then that's just there you go. That's what it is.
Oh man. Shouts to Iowa, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
as a
huge Italian
stand-in for
community.
Italy. I don't know why y'all are flying for romantic trips to Italy when you could just go to Iowa.
Iowa, baby. You know what I
They
mean?
they got the pasta you want.
That's it.
It's
You
all
know what I
right
mean?
there. I can't believe that they are mad at they are bored. They are bored. That they got the nerve are a class action lawsuit. So I'm trying to figure out how many people are in this lawsuit. Who else is like, "Wait, hold on, I'm looking now."
I need
1,
my money.
2 oh, no, that's the law firm.
I need
It's just those 2.
Yo, but maybe they bought these $6 worth of pasta several times, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's like 3 boxes of pasta, which honestly, if they got 3 boxes of pasta for $6
That's
in
not
this
bad.
economy, that's real good. That's real good.
Real talk, me. You could service the food kitchen for a little bit right there, my G.
Also, are you only mad at that? Aren't you mad at, like, ragu? Ragu's
Word.
got an Italian flag on the label, has since I was a child. You
Hard
not mad
body.
at ragu?
You
What
know what I
about
mean?
Prego? Like,
Prego. Yo, Prego fancy, yo. Don't be sitting on Prego.
don't shit no, Prego, I remember making the step up from ragu to Prego when
Straight
I was
up,
just
B.
like, "Yo, I'm working full time at the Gap now." You know what I mean?
Yo.
Like like, they made me stock supervisor. I can afford Prego.
Yo, low key, like Prego,
Yeah,
that's like one of the reasons I married Gabby. Like she pivoted us. You know, I was a
okay.
ragu person. She showed me
Mm.
Prego. I was like, oh, you made good decisions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's
I
that's worth the extra dollar.
I absolutely remember just like, "Let me try Prego," and it being so thick and me going like, "What was the swill I was eating before?"
You know what I mean?
And my mother was like, "The stuff I made?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's trash. Prego is where it's at. I don't need your homemade shit anymore. It's in this jar. A mother's love is in this jar."
I promise you, there's a grandma on that
And then
factory
yeah,
line, ma.
absolutely. Like, be mad at Prego. Like, you gotta sue all of them. You
For
gotta sue
real.
all of them if you've been duped. But if it's about $6, I don't know, you can't even get a verified check, a blue check for $6.
That's how thrown off Elon Musk got us, okay? We read
Yeah.
this article and instantly thought, oh, this is a Bahia corporate takeover.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
And no,
exactly.
just
And I'm
regular people.
only measuring things by blue checks. That's like my new currency. Something I never thought about before. I need him to get out of my head. But I truly thought, because 'cause I'm like, "Why else would you sue?" Because I know it can't just be you bought it and you were like, "This isn't made in Italy." And that's exactly what it is. Jeez
Also,
Louise.
like
Mm.
every time, am I bugging out by the way? Like you mentioned Ragu and Prego. I always thought My issue with ragu is that when I looked at the colors, I always thought it was, like, more like Mexican salsa.
Oh, you know what? It's probably because there's a lot more yellow on the label of
Yeah.
ragu.
Like, it
There's
reminded me of, like, when my boy Mark, my one of my friends got, like, a cake the shape of a hamburger. Like, it tastes good,
but
but I couldn't enjoy it because
yes,
I was expecting the other thing. Right.
yeah,
The
yes,
ragu, the bottle gives me that. Like, I'm sure the sauce is fine, but I'm thinking like, "Oh, where the chips?" Not like, "Let's make pasta." It's a
right,
weird energy. But yeah, nah,
yes.
like,
Okay, so I'm looking at a bottle of ragu right now. The top half of the label is yellow, and
yeah,
then the bottom half is blue, and it has, old world style on it or whatever. So that looks more like, pace salsa, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's the yellow of the label, whereas Prego came in with, like, a white label and then the words Prego on it in, like, dark letters or something, but it
yeah,
wa the label wasn't yellow, so that's why it kinda looks like salsa, which is
yeah.
because
Like,
it's thinner. It's good for pizza, right?
right.
Spaghetti
Okay.
sauce is good for pizza because it's a lot thinner, whereas Prego is, like, thicker. So there's and ragu has, like, a it tastes like nostalgia. So, if I go somewhere and they don't have Prego, but they do have ragu, I'm not going to be like, "Ew, ragu." I'm gonna go, "Yeah, let's take it all the way back." You know what I mean? It's not as much nostalgia as, say, like SpaghettiOs, but it's a lot of nostalgia in it.
That's real. That's real.
So,
That's
yeah.
real. I did just eat like a Chef Boyardee the other day just cause like I
Good for
wanted
you.
comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a hug.
Yeah, straight up.
It is.
I wanted the comfort.
Yep.
Like my son was like, what's different between this lasagna and that lasagna, the one that grandma makes?" I was like, "A lot. I still feel good when I have both, but for very different reasons."
Yes,
You
right.
know? I had to explain to him never to eat the Chef Boyardee one. I was like, "Just so you know, like, you've
Yeah,
never
this
been
isn't
this
good.
poor where this will
Mm-mm.
be a
Right.
memory that
I'm
will."
working hard so that when you taste this, you go, "Ew."
Yeah.
That's why
I want
I'm
you to
work
always hate this, son.
yes.
It means something to me, okay? It's the first thing they trusted me to make on my own when we were
Right.
struggling, okay? It was
Mhm.
this and cereal. Those were my options. But yeah, we've come far.
Yeah, yeah. So what can your son make on his own then that he will go back to? What's the
I
store-bought
mean,
thing?
I feel like they're healthy foods though. We have the PB&J. He can make that
Okay.
on his own. You know
Right.
what I mean? But it's like he got natural peanut butter, he got whole wheat bread, you
Mhm.
know? And even like it's not even jelly. It's like a natural spread jam. Like he don't know about that life at all. That dude, his whole
Well
life is different. He
well,
was
I
mad
mean
at me the other day because we ain't have his 2% lactate milk.
oh,
He has his
wow.
own like milk that comes in. Like Gabby and Michaela do skim Fairlife,
Okay.
and he does 2% lactate.
Okay. And you were out of the
And
lactate.
I was out of the lactate. I was like, my man, like, yo, I can't be out at the supermarket buying. I spend 10 minutes in the milk aisle because of y'all dudes. Okay. This
Well,
is too
look, man,
much.
that's spoken like someone who can process lactate. But for the rest of us, we need it. I don't mess with milk, mostly because, of the lactose intolerance thing, but also because I don't really like the taste of milk.
Right.
But, any kind of dairy thing, I succumbed. I quit trying to be a martyr. No one thought it was stronger of me to not eat these things. No one was like, "Shalewa, you don't eat ice cream anymore? That's so brave." No one gave a fuck.
At
So I was
all.
like, "Well, then I'll just get the tablets and eat the cheese and get you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna
No.
let it stop me." So I
No, but the thing is, the Fairlife is also lactose free, but Gabby likes the skim one.
okay.
He
Oh,
likes the
so he needs a little
lactate
fe
and
he needs a
2%.
yeah, he
Yeah,
needs a
he's
little
like, it tastes
fat.
like water,
It
you know?
does. He
So
ain't wrong. I mean, that's all it is. It's just
yeah, he's like, yo, I can't drink that with what I'm eating. I
yeah,
don't
that's
dip
fair.
cookies in like skim milk. It's weird. So I hear you. I'm not mad at it, but like also like I'm legit spending like $40 on milk every week. Like this is crazy, my G. Your milk is
Man.
$8. Your mom's milk is $7. You know what I mean? I'm buying too much of this nonsense. It's not
Well,
fair. Okay,
yeah, yeah, they will have to come to some sort of agreement until prices go down, maybe?
that's
I
it.
don't know. I don't
Just
know.
agree on the milk. That's all I'm
Just
asking for.
yeah.
I can't have a like I'm shopping. I have a milk list. That's crazy, yo. My
I
daughter's
think
milk changes every month. She either does the 2% chocolate Fairlife or she does like a oat milk. And then I gotta be extra conscious of her because she got the allergies,
right, right,
you
right.
know.
She's
So
the
I'm
only one with some skin in the game,
yeah,
actually.
her for real. She could die. Y'all just going to the bathroom, okay? Like, so I'm legit like I gotta nail that one. All
Right.
right. I've gotten it wrong before. I get it. The stakes are high. But man, yo, like I'm in the you know what is wild? Like when you go to a new supermarket and
Mhm,
you ask the dudes questions like, where do I find this?
mhm.
It's wild that I've had to ask more than one question in the dairy aisle. Yo, where do I
Right.
find this? Don't go yet, my G. I need more things from here. You know, that's crazy.
Oh,
I
we're
know I'm
just
the
getting
only dude
started,
with this.
just getting started.
We just get started, but now I don't need anywhere else. We just staying in this aisle,
Just
but
right
I
here.
need your help, my G,
Take your
over here.
jacket off, stay a while. We gonna be a
Sincerely, B.
minute.
We getting one random milk that you don't sell that often. I need all of those random things.
Oh, jeez.
In other news, Joe Bear, how do you say Bear? Behar?
Joy
Joy
Behar.
Joy Behar continues to insist she had a menage a trois with ghosts. Yeah, that's right. Joy Behar of The View scared up a lot of controversy last week when she claimed she had carnal encounters with ghosts, but she stuck to her story. Behar first made the spooky sex claim on October 20th,
The
while the
spooky
panel
sex
you
claim.
can
Oh,
tell we not
boy.
on CNN today.
Yeah, no, not today.
On October 20th, while the panel discussed a story about a Texas woman who believes her house is haunted by horny ghosts. I've had sex with a few ghosts and never got pregnant, Behar told her coworkers. I love that that's the part that they will believe. Okay. The titillating topic came up again this week during the show's discussion about a New York Times article on people who believe their homes are haunted. View panelist Sarah Haynes noted the attention Bayar received after her first confession. Joy's embraced hers intimately so. Haynes said, everybody talked about your sex with Ghost. She added as the clippings from various magazines appeared on the screen. It broke the internet. Behar doubled down on the claim, insisting and insisted her spooky sex sessions were legit, although not necessarily pleasant. So let me just set the record straight, okay? It's all true. It's all true. It's all true, Behar said. I've had sex with ghosts. I just thought Casper was not a generous lover, a menage a trois. It was almost like having sex with myself. Oh, so yes, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. That's what she said.
Mhm. Okay,
People's wild.
so, look, alright, first off, I The View has really lost its way. We've lost our way with The View, I think, perhaps. I don't know, but, um and secondly, yeah, okay, there are people who believe they've had sex with, I believe it's a succubus? Let me double check. And I only know this because I've read an Anne Rice book or 2. As we all know,
Right.
Anne Rice is the author of, the whole vampire series, Interview with a Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, blah, 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 and then she wrote another series about some woman who had some affair with a ghost, and that's where I learned where what a succubus was. I'm not sure I was let me make sure I've got this right though, because 'cause I'm getting ready to Google it to
I'm
make sure that it's a succubus and not an incubus, because there's a difference.
I'm not against having people like Joy on the show. She's like a funny person, but
Yeah,
like,
no, no, it's her I mean, she's the show. She's the only one she's
yeah.
damn near the only original person.
But there was like a balance once, right? Like you had like Lisa Ling, I think it was, and like you had
Oh,
like real reporters too, wasn't it? And it was like the
well, there
energy of the two of them together,
well, no, I mean, like, it was Barbara Walters, yes,
right?
and then, there would be maybe a couple of like Meredith Vieira was on it, early on, and yeah, so Joy was like the comic relief, and
Right.
then they had someone, who maybe had a more conservative view or something like that, and then they discuss things. And they still are doing and then, oh, Star Joe how could we forget Star Jones,
Word.
who was a lawyer and then did that. So, you had people from various walks of life, yes. Um, and so they are still, like, kinda keeping to that. So, but right now, uh, Barbara Walters hasn't been on screen or anywhere in quite some time. So the person who's at the head of the table when Barbara's not there now is Whoopi Goldberg,
Okay.
who's like, "Okay, keep it I'll keep it controlled so it doesn't get wild." Um, who and before, like, Rosie O'Donnell has been that person.
Right.
Various people have been on as regulars from different walks of life. But, like, it's not that it's necessarily wild, except that it is. It's wild. It was wild from the jump. Like, it's always been wild. Don't think that just because Lisa Ling was on it, they weren't still screaming over each other. They still were. Because Star Jones was wild with it. Like, I mean, Joy now is an elder stateswoman on the show, but she used to be wild with it because she was the comic, you know, relief, and then there's a time where they had Joy and Rosie, so forget about it. That's 2 people who are from, like, the New York area, just like ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, constant, and now it's Whoopi who's chiller, but still like, "Hey, shut up," when she doesn't want you to talk anymore, like, but they're always they've been yelling over each other since the show started. And that's like a key thing. And, kind of occasionally saying maybe a wild thing. So
Okay.
it's not unusual but it's also just like, man, why? Why would you say it? But why wouldn't you say it? This is the view, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for something a little wild like that. And she could be completely full of shit. She is a comedian. She is, I mean, I don't even know if she goes up anymore. There was a time where she did go up, like, while on The View, where she was like, "This is cute. I don't know if this is forever." So she kept touring and stuff. I think now she's got enough View money that she does it.
Yeah, she like, "I'm good."
Maybe yeah, maybe that's just, like, a cute thing she told herself once, and she's like, "I'm just gonna lean into it." Maybe maybe some force, maybe she had a weighted blanket. Maybe it was just a masturbation session gone wrong. Who knows with her? That it has that they keep going back to it because the people watching are like, is like, "Oh, ladies, come on, get it together,
Go Joy.
please."
Nah,
Go
man.
Joy. Uh,
I hope you're getting blown out by Casper, as you
oh,
said,
wow, okay, that's a lot.
you know?
That's a lot.
Women's empowerment. You deserve
Is
what you
that
want. You know what I
women's
mean?
that's what we're gonna call that?
I don't know, but I'm happy for her. She's smiling, she seems into it. I'm happy for you, Joy. I hope you
Oh, boy.
I hope you continue to have all the sexual joy you deserve and want in your life, you know? Um, I feel like that shouldn't go away at 80, okay?
At
Why
80?
not? You know?
She's not is she 80?
She gotta be
No.
up there, yo.
Yeah, but not that up there.
Nah. I don't
No.
know. I felt like she started like at 50, 60.
No. Started comedy at 50, 60?
No, like started The View. I thought at when like The View kicked off, I thought she was old already.
No, no, I think she probably was maybe late 30s, early 40s.
Oh damn, my bad.
No, it's understandable. The fashion at the time that she was coming out of, 80s into early 90s definitely made all women look like they were, like, leaving an office or on their way to an office. There were a lotta big blazers, shoulder pads, and lots of big scarves tossed over their neck, and, like, it was 80s fashion, like, for women was definitely um, very, like, sisters are doing it for themselves, you know? So, she certainly looked if you look at, like, the fashions, if you look at, like, female comedians, there's a reason that they make jokes about Paula Poundstone always wearing a blazer or a suit. They all were doing that. That's what was Ellen had one too. Ellen wore a white one over a black T-shirt. Like, that's what female fashion was. It was just
Wow.
a lot of, like, showing the men we could do it too, so a lot of suits.
Okay.
Yeah. So she probably was, like, um, late 30s or something.
Huh.
Yeah, so she wasn't like, she just unfortunately looked like an old lady. Also, comedy will age you quick. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think she's, um, maybe I'm gonna say that she's probably late 60s.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
probably late 60s, maybe. I could just look it up, but now my internet is acting weird. It didn't wanna tell me what a succubus was, and I feel like that might be Google just going, "Baby, you don't need to
you don't need to know.
you don't need to know."
Yeah, I'm not trying to diss Joy, sincerely. I just always thought, like, from the day the show started, she was a grandmother, like, from
Oh,
day
wow.
one. I
Oh,
figured
shit. Wrong, she's 80.
on the dot. Yo, for real?
That
That's
can't be right.
you cra I was gonna say, like, 70 something, but yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I would've put her just 'cause she alright, well, hold on then. How old is Barbara Walters? Because that bitch gotta be fucking oh, boy. Oh, Barbara Walters is 93. Okay,
Yo,
bitch.
that's what I'm saying, yo, they doing numbers, yo.
So then, okay, if she's 80, shit.
'Cause you
Maybe
gotta
she
figure, like,
did.
when the View I'm in my late 30s, shot, and the View started, I was in school. You
Yeah,
know?
I know, I remember, I mean, I was, in my 20s, I think, when The View started.
Yeah.
I absolutely remember it starting.
That's what I'm
Like, I
saying, like,
wasn't I
you
don't
gotta
think I
throw at
was
least
in
a 30 piece on whenever they started,
right.
so, like, I figured she was, like, 50, like,
Oh, The
late
View
40s to
started
50.
in '97, and I was 25.
Hey, yo, that's my freshman year of high school right there.
Yeah, so '97, I was 25. It started, like, 25 years ago. So, like, yeah, I don't know, 80 is wild, but I really thought because I'd seen her do comedy, like, on late night sets or whatever,
Yeah.
but everybody just looked that old, you know what I mean? Everyone just looked because the fashion was such
Yeah,
that
you had to look
everyone that so
serious.
yeah, so I just figured when it started, she was probably, like, yeah, late maybe, like, 40 or something like that.
I be I mean, yeah, if she started at 40, that's 70 already.
No, no, it was started in
Oh,
'97.
90, okay, yeah. So that's is that 25 right there?
Yeah,
65?
it's
Yeah.
25. Yeah, so that's what I thought she was. I thought she was, like, early 60s
I don't know. My
or
mom was
early to
40.
mid 60s or something like that, but she was, like, my dad's age. So, yeah. Huh.
I don't know, man.
But,
She always had
it's
grandma energy to me.
not to but you know what? She also talked about, like, stuff that felt, like, young, and that could just be someone trying to be you entering entertainment, you're not supposed to say your real age,
Right, right,
especially as a woman. Like, I trumpet my age a lot, and I know there are people who I don't know if there are people who care, honestly, but I know there are folks who are like, "You should not do that." I have
right,
heard from
right.
people who are like, "You should not tell people how old you are." And I'm like, "I get it, but the thing is with lying about your age, there comes a point where the references, you don't understand, and you
Yeah,
can't fake that, and I'm not gonna go back and watch, like, Rugrats so I can understand or SpongeBob to understand everyone's origins.
yeah, nah,
You
be
know what I mean? So I just don't understand what you're talking about, and if I'm lying about my age and I'm supposed to get these jokes, I can't fake that.
nah, nah,
So,
be
at some point, you'll end up being like, "Well, you're a really out of touch 37-year-old, aren't you?" And I'm like, "What?" Me? No, I have no idea what you're I no idea what you love. I know I
Yeah.
can't I'm gonna say the wrong thing, or I'm gonna reference something and people are gonna go, "What are you even talking about?" And it's like, "Oh, right."
Yeah, every time you see like a 30-year-old and like the the interview says something like, "You got an old soul." Nah, B, that dude is 65. Okay? They don't got an old soul. They old, okay? And they just been lying to get famous. Okay?
Yeah,
You gon' I don't care how old like I am, I'ma say it, okay?
yeah,
I ain't changing my references. You're gonna keep hearing about Puff Daddy. You gonna hear about Cameron,
right,
okay?
yes, exactly, I'll just be kinda stuck in amber in that way, and also, I'm trumpeting it now because now it's an age where people go, "Oh, well, good for you." There's a lot more respect in saying that you're 50
Yeah.
than saying that you're 47.
Word. Do
47
it up.
people are like, "Is that even a number?" "Oh, it continues past 40? I thought it was just 40," and then you disappear for a while, and then you come back at 50. And so, that's why I'm like, "No, I'm gonna count down every year for you." But now that I've hit that, it's just like, now people are like, "Interesting," but it's also like, I got, like, a script for something where they're like, "They're looking for someone in their 50s or 60s," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I guess."
Hell
You
yeah.
know?
Do it up.
I mean, I guess I do fall in that, but I'm gonna be a youthful 60 if that's what you're looking for, but
Cash all them checks.
yeah, and then all the jokes are about this old hag, and I'm like, "God damn, I gotta be an old hag? Maybe I'll need to get a traditional 60-year-old or something because I moisturize too much to be an old
Real
hag."
talk. Yo,
But
low key, you the only one that chill with us, Sha. Like no one else has been allowed into the circle. Either that
Mm,
or there's more people lying about their age.
there might be more people lying about their age.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Cause I know like I'm old for the groups that like we
Mhm,
run with.
mhm. Yeah.
And but I know and I know there's a few other ones. I've noticed it. Like every
Mhm.
now and then, like, oh, I noticed you never mentioned when you graduated or whatever, like, but I'm seeing through it.
That's funny. I did a show out in LA where I say I'm 50, and then I got off stage and, one of the other comics was very funny. Kevin Kumia, I
Okay.
think is his name. He was on Colbert recently. He did a set on Colbert. He's super funny. And he came up to me and he asked me a question that I guess you just have to be in this age to understand. He said, "Class of 90 or class of 91?" And I said, "Class of 90." And he went, "Okay." And I'm like, "Wow, you have to like," and that's when I graduated high school.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but, if your birthday felt at a certain time, you could either be class of 91 because you had to it fell at a time where you had to wait
Yeah.
until like that whole thing, so you're actually a year older than everyone else. But, but yeah, I was like, "No, class of 90," and he was like, "Okay," and nodded, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"That's proof because I
Hell
answered
yeah.
it right away and didn't have to do the math because I know." So, that's just such a funny thing.
Hey, we out
Oh
here,
my
baby.
goodness, where did we start? Where did we start from this one? How did we get here? Was it Joy's fucking ghost? Yeah,
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 that's
maybe
it.
she did. That's the point. Maybe
Good
she
for
did.
her. Okay.
She's 80,
Congratulations.
shit, who knows at this she might be fucking ghost now at this point. Maybe
I
that's what
hope
she's
I'm 80
talking about.
fucking ghost. Okay.
Well,
You know what I mean? Why not?
yeah,
That means I'm you know what that means? I'm still alive at 80.
that's true.
Real
That's
talk.
true.
So
So
I hope to be telling wild out of pocket stories like this at
oh,
brunch.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, they should let her really 'cause just go free. I mean, at 80, she's gonna be saying some wild stuff for
In other
sure.
news, investigation finds lower internet speeds in my neighborhood specifically for higher price for higher prices in poor, less white neighborhoods in the U.S.
I don't
Uh,
even need to hear the story on this because 'cause I'm living it right now. I am paying so much. In fact, when I'm done, I'm going to make an appointment to switch out our internet because I think we may be able to switch to something that is cheaper. I think that might be over here now, but it took forever to get here, and it's still weird. But I definitely they raised the rate for because we have the same internet, and they
yeah,
raised the rate, and it's a rate where I'm like, "For this, I need to have Mr. Internet here hitting wires. He needs
Yo.
to he needs to be able to recite all of Google to me for what I'm paying right now. I need to have an individual here who will not only when I ask a question, when I think it, he has the answer and he'll bring me a physical version of it. That's what I need for what I'm paying right now. And this is definitely a poor, less white neighborhood that I'm in.
Yo, they getting out of pocket.
And it was the only option until, like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
The only option, and still is in many places.
What I don't am I bugging or like I actually thought, and I guess because I believe too much in people, I felt like the internet should be something that the government works towards making free.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, that is what should happen.
Like it's too much of a life need at this point. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like I
yeah, it
understand maybe if
absolutely
like I
is.
want to pay for like crazy speed, but like there should be like a bare bones high speed at this point that everyone should just have. Cause like there's like government offices now that require you to check in with an app.
Yes.
Like I need this shit, you know?
Yeah. Everybody makes the switch to this, internet way of life, but not everyone has it where it's inexpensive. And I don't know if that's something that the government is working towards. I don't know if that's something that Biden said that he wanted to try and get done.
Like 4G
Um,
should be for everybody.
yeah, like, it should be across the board, everyone
Yeah.
should have it. It shouldn't be I mean, you read so many stories of, like, kids, especially when COVID hit, kids having to sit in parking lots to
Right.
try and get some of, the Wi-Fi that's just kind of floating out there that's, inside the Walmart. You know what I mean? But they gotta sit in a parking lot to do, like, classes or sitting in cars and parking lots to try because they don't have it at home. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I
That's
completely out of pocket. There needs to be
yeah.
like a basic level that like we all agree everyone gets this, and then if you want to pay for more, knock yourself out. But like,
Mhm.
and at this point, that bare level has to still be relatively quick because there's too
Yes,
many demands on like day to day life that require us
that
to
require
have
it.
that. You know what I mean? Like,
Watching television now,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Have you
Like,
tried buying an antenna at a store?
ev
Yo, because
no, they don't
I did the whole unplug thing, and I
uh-huh.
went to Target.
Mhm.
Yo, when I told you, I've never seen an employee from Target so confused in my life. I I was like, yo, I need the antenna for the TV. I was like, nah, we
Right,
don't do internet here. I like, no, the antenna. I need the sticks to put on
right.
the TV so I get the regular channels. And that
Mhm.
dude called the supervisor, and then he called the storage section area manager because
Right.
Target got everybody's a boss at Target. So like there was like three like heads of areas all like
Right.
talking about this shit. And like every explanation I get hurt my feelings more, because they
Mhm.
were like, what so like what are you talking about exactly? I was like, and like I knew to clarify it, I had to diss myself. I was like, you remember the thing when like you went to your grandma's house when you was
Right,
growing up, or you seen it in movies?
but they probably haven't even seen it in movies. They don't even make them like that anymore
Yeah, they're like
because the TVs aren't made like that anymore, so there's no place to stick it next to the tube, that no TV has a back on it. They
yeah,
don't make
and
the TV with the ass anymore, so you don't need that kind. It's like a box. It looks like a cable box with
yeah.
one little thing, but even that, they're still like, "No."
And that's what caused the issue. They was like, nah, we don't sell those no more. They don't come with the sticks. It's like another box. And then they
Mhm.
kept trying to sell me on something they don't sell. They was like, if you gonna get this box, why don't you just get cable? And they just gonna give you another box. It's like, that's the point. I don't want they
Want
box.
cable,
I
right.
want
I
this
want
box. I'm gonna
yeah.
pay for it once and I'm done with boxes. And they're like, nah, that don't make sense. You only get 3 channels. I'm like, my man, I'm trying to buy something from you. Get me the thing.
Right.
You
Do
know?
you work for the cable company?
I'm like, what's happening right now? It was the most frustrating non-sale ever. I'm like over here trying to buy something from a store. They don't want to sell it to me because they don't know where to look. Cause like
Right.
after like finally explaining it,
Uh-huh.
they like looked it up on their first we
On their
Googled it to know that
mhm.
what it was. Then he's like, oh yeah, we got those. And it was the middle manager that said it. So like the main manager got mad at him because now we had to commit to
Right.
like, oh, we sell that. And then
Yes.
like they looked in the inventory of the store, and I'm at
Mhm.
this point I don't trust them. So like I'm standing next to him when he's
When
researching.
he's looking for stuff.
Yeah, you know. So I'm looking at the shit, and that shit said quantity like 4. So I'm like, it's here. All right, let's look for this shit. And
Right.
they ain't know where to look because they haven't sold one of those in years. You know, so they're like, I know there's 4 in the building, but like we got like 40,000 square feet, my G. Like, I don't know where to look for this thing.
You
It's
go in the
somewhere in the
back.
back. Yeah.
Go to the back, go to the electronics thing, crawl down to the bottom, those 4 things that you probably have propping up the desk in the office, whatever it is, like, it's in there.
I want this. Nah, did not happen
Oh
at
my
all.
god. Yeah,
More
that's
people in the
a
internet, yo.
more people. Yeah, it should just be like what they've done to just the TV watching in general, and then just you need the internet in order to do it, and otherwise you're just sitting in darkness. You know what I mean? Like it's wild. It should be across the board. Now it like by now I feel like most old buildings have been retrofitted in such a way
Yeah.
that you can get it in there. Even if it's old school coaxial cable, in a like yes,
That's it.
that's fine, but that's what needs to be done across the board because this is insane. What I'm paying is insane. It makes me mad every time, but I'm always just been too busy or I'm not home or ironically doing too much on the internet that I don't have time to stop and let someone switch out my internet.
Straight up. That's my fear. I'm like, I just can't
Yeah.
throw off the system. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly. It's like I've got I've got everything precariously balanced on chicken wire and hope. And
It's
now you're gonna come through and maybe give me something better, or you're going to knock everything down. And
oh.
I don't know if I can rebuild, you know?
If you would like
Hmm.
for Shalewa and Gastor to start their own internet company. Oh, you-
Yo, yeah, absolutely. I'm here for that. I've dealt with enough of them that I think I know how to do. The first thing I will do is not charge you a month early.
Ooh, that's
Keep an
strong.
eye on that because that's what they do.
That's
Your
strong.
first payment is for the month that hasn't happened yet. So then, right, you're paying in advance. So
Yeah,
then when it's time for you to cancel,
they
they're like,
got
"Oh,
you.
well, you still gotta pay for this month." Not and they say that because they know that you don't realize that you've already paid in advance.
Mhm.
So you gotta come in there with a bill and you gotta say, "Well, here are the dates, and I wanna cancel it, and I paid for these dates. So what's really good?" You know,
Nah, man.
you gotta thug it out when you when you deal with these people. It's a nightmare. So, know that. When you know that, yeah, definitely let us run. Hey, man, look,
Wait.
I've done battle with Comcast. You can't tell me nothing. I got stripes from doing
I
battle with
love that
Comcast.
idea, yo. Are you gonna talk to Tom Warner? You better be ready to thug it out, my G.
Yeah, like, for real. Because they don't want you they're like, "Well, you have to return the thing, and we
Yeah, that
only have 1 office, and it's open every other hour." Like, we're open from 10 to 11, from
yo,
12:30 to 1:30, from 3 to 7 yeah, you gotta what? Like, yeah, you gotta
yo,
catch them.
Shot. It was when I canceled the first time I canceled Verizon,
Mhm,
they told me I had to return the modem. And I said, cool, can I mail it? I was like, nah, now you gotta come in person to this place. And the
mhm,
address they sent me, I won't even say, but like I'm from East New York. Like, I know
mhm.
my hood is real.
Right.
They sent me to a place that's like, yo, never in my life would I go here with bodyguards, you know? For my safety, I would never bring family here. And you telling me this is the only office I could drop this off at? I gotta go over here. You out of your mind. Like, it's crazy. I like, how'd you find the office in,
Right.
in this place?
Is this
It's
a legitimate office, or is this just a guy with
yeah,
a TV table?
yo, it was crazy. They was like, oh, like when you looked it up on Google, it was part of like kind of like one of those like malls, like a mini mall type strip,
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
like open parking or whatever. But like
Mhm.
as a local, I know that none of
Mhm.
those stores are open anymore except for this thing. So like they got like a parking
Wow.
lot with like old Pathmark, like shit
Okay.
that don't exist no more. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
just there. You know what I mean? They got a Models that's been closed. Like it's just bananas. I'm like, yo, like, why am I like, why is the store next door to you still say A&S? Okay. Like this is crazy, my G. I can't go here and wait in line for 20 minutes for my safety so I don't
Right.
get dinged $30.
Mhm.
Okay. Y'all are out of pocket. You gotta thug it out. I
Yeah,
legit
you
told my
got
brother-in-law to come with me because I was like, yo, I like
right.
I know the hood, but they don't know me. I ain't from
Mhm.
that neighborhood. I ain't trying to be out here like, looking like a target because I'm trying to return this box, you know?
See, that is why you have to go, like, fueled on pure rage, because I had to return my stuff when I got ready to move to New York, and they sent me to some place where I was just like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me," and I
Oh.
went, "Okay, alright, see if I won't, though," and I was I was so angry. "I've been doing business with you for years, and this is how you treat me? Ooh, bring Mr. Comcast to me. He needs to be there when I get there, because we got words. We got words."
I might move back, and I'm gonna
Right.
remember this day.
Yeah, I dropped that, I just boom, like, I don't care if it's broken, here it is. Finish it out and print it up. Print me 2 copies. I need 2 copies, and I need your name and the name of the dude standing next to you. I don't even care if he's not your manager. I just need to know, "Yeah, she did it, and Dwayne was right next to her," so that I was there, because Dwayne don't go nowhere else. Dwayne is right there. So, yeah, I was so angry, just floating. I don't even know if the wheels of my car touched the ground. I was angry. Yeah, that's how you have to do it. But yes, it is. It is a thug it out situation.
So as you see, we're gonna focus on customer service, is what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Like and subscribe to the show. If you have articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to This Is Des, Mommy Mary, Lori McDaniel, and Aaron Anderson. All of you sharing articles, much appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am future internet slash
Mm.
local cable tycoon Castor Almonte, okay, with the head of expansion.
Right. Your friendly neighborhood customer service rep.
Shalewa Sharpe. This has been admittedly social media and internet frustrated episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.
Once the guns go cold, cold.